Hey everyone, wanted to give you kind of a quick lesson on how to use color. Our Notepad project is requiring us to use what we refer to as spot color, and I kind of want to show you a quick demo of what we need to do to add color and use it effectively on our particular notepad. So you can see I've got my swatches panel up that is loaded with the default colors. If you don't see your swatches panel, once you get inside of your document, you can see I've got a 5.5 by 8.5 sheet with my 1/8 inch bleed line already set up. And if you don't see your swatches panel, if you'll come under color and choose swatches, it should pop up and look like this. So there's a couple of things that we're trying to cover on this particular project, and that is to know the difference between spot and process color. So what InDesign preloads by default on your swatches panel are all what we refer to as process color. And process colors are basically builds of cyan, magenta, yellow, and black, meaning different screen tints laid on top of each other to give us different colors and different builds. And you can look at this little gray square over here on the right-hand side that indicates visually that is what we refer to as a process color. We want to stay away from process colors on this project. What we're doing is a two-color spot color project where we're using black, which is indicated here, and we can't. Even though it's listed as a process, we can't change that. That's a black, the default black color that we're going to be using. The areas that we want to pay attention to are the colors. So I'm not sure whatever color you happen to pick, but you can edit any of these colors and convert them into what we refer to as spot colors. So let's just say I had a blue that I wanted to use. I could just double click this cyan color in here, and where the real important part is right here where it says color type. We want to change that to spot, and then we could name it my blue or whatever you want to name it, and then you can build it using these sliders and create any blue that you want. Maybe I want something more kind of navy color or something like that. You can certainly do that. So it's really up to whatever you want. But the key part is we want to change that to spot, and that's the color I want to use. If you'll notice on the swatches panel, we've got now a different icon over here on the right-hand side that indicates to me that is a spot color. So that's what we want to use on our project. So if I were to create an object. Let's say I had a square over here and I was going to bleed off in the corner over here. I can turn that into my spot color blue. I can tint it back like any other color that I might use. That's going to work just fine. But remember, we're going to use black and your spot color. I would also recommend that you delete these swatches that you don't want to use. So if I shift select all of these other colors, I could just trash them so I won't inadvertently use those. So really what I'm looking for in your InDesign file at the end of this project is that you've built this file correctly using process color. And I'm going to be looking at your swatches panel to make sure that you have set up a spot color. So again, when you double click the one of these default colors, you can change it here, process or spot. We want it to be a spot color in this case. How it's built down here really doesn't matter. That's just a visual for us to kind of indicate what color we're going to get. But what really matters is what color inks we have loaded on the press. I also have a presentation inside of Moodle dealing with spot and process, so you know the difference, because that's the one of the key learning points of this particular project. So hopefully that will take care of that. If you have any questions, certainly feel free to reach out to me. But remember, we want to use a spot color plus black on this. You do have to have tints and you do have to have bleeds, so make sure you know how to use the tint slider up here to do that. One other thing I want to show you on your lines, a lot of you are wanting different lines or wanting lines on your notepad. If you'll hold shift while you draw this, you'll get a straight line. And then if you want to create multiple copies of that, instead of having to draw this over and over, we have a tool inside of the edit panel called Step and Repeat. And if we pull up the step and repeat panel, we can offset, or meaning what kind of space do we want in between our lines. And I think for writing, typically about 3/8 of an inch or so is 0.375 is a good amount of space. And then you can just increase the count here, and it automatically draws those for you. So if I want to draw lines down my sheet, I recommend using the step and repeat function rather than going through and trying to draw each one of these manually, because it's not going to be very uniform. It's going to be very tedious. So draw your line first, the one that you want to duplicate, then go to Edit, Step and Repeat, and use that dialog box there to create your lines for you. Okay, hope that will help you out on this project, and good luck. If you have any questions, certainly feel free to reach back out to me.